Hello, hello.
Slide it.
I know you would think that.
No, it's under the light.
I guess that's
Yes, babe. That's why I keep moving
I know
my
I need
laptop.
that for certain. Hey, Miss Lilo Nelson. Did you have a good trip back, or are you still there? And hey, JD Cogger, I think. Hope I said that correctly. Hey, Tracy, how are you? Glue paper scissors. Love the name. Hello, how are you? Ooh, I gotta keep open. Yvette, Robin Bryant, TM2 Fitness. Hi, how are you? Kingsbury Crafts, Karen Murray, Pat Ash. Thank you for being a YouTube Hoop Group member. Titanium Evans. Hello, how are you? Erica Cooper. Hello, how are you? Andrea Ross. Thank you for being a YouTube Hoop Group member. And hello, how are you? TM2 Fitness is so glad I found your channel. Well, TM2 Fitness, what do you enjoy about our channel? Is it the embroidery? Is it the sublimation? Is it bling? It's probably not vinyl, but just in case, let me know what you work on. That would be cool to know. Betty, hello, hello, how are you? Bella Daisy, hey, I follow all of your tutorials. You make it so easy. Thank you. You're welcome. Thank you. Hi, Will, how are you? Welcome, and thank you for being a YouTube Group member. Hello, Ardeen. I missed you guys as well. I was on briefly last week, very, very briefly. Deborah Smith, hello. Amy Painter, hello. Ebony Clay, hello. How are you? Shonda Coleman, hey, love, how are you? Miss Debbie Kidd, hello, and thank you for being a YouTube Group member. Beverly Smith, Connie Bedell, Latasha, hey, Eve and Mr. Eve. How are you? Did you get your email? So the captains, you should have your file for the month. Actually, this month it was 2 files. So I am very much looking forward to doing those 2 files with you guys. That project is going to be a lot of fun. So I'm excited about doing that, the June project with y'all. That's going to be fun. Hello, Felicia Storm. How are you? How are you? And thank you for being a YouTube Group member. Kim's Crafty Creations. Hello, how are you? Jackie Howard. Hey, Jackie, how are you? Susan Green. Hello, how are you? Dorothy Gaston. Hello, hashtag Hoop Group. How are you? Charmaine Thomas. Hello, hello. How are you? Ardeen says hello from Olalla, Washington State. Welcome. Thanks for joining us all the way from Washington. Cheryl McCauley, love your videos. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Thank you for being here with us. Hi, Debbie. Miss Debbie, thank you for being a YouTube Group member. Captain at that. Patricia Husky, thank you for being a YouTube Group member. And TM2 says I do all of it. Okay, cool. Tanya, thank you for being a YouTube Group captain. Welcome. Thank you for joining us tonight. Melissa Dodd, hi, hi. How are you? Shirley Stewart, you as well. Thank you for being a YouTube Group captain. And welcome. Thank you for joining us. Hi Eve, how are you? I am doing fine, Stacy G. I am still in transition, so I'm not in a studio yet. I don't have a space set up as of yet. So that's why I'm just coming to you guys live for the moment. Just in a neutral space. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments, in the chat, and we'll see about trying to get them answered. Just learning, and you're a godsend. Thanks for sharing your expertise. Thank you, Yvette. How are you today? Thank you for joining us this evening. PJ Coppage, what up? Welcome. Can't hear anymore? Let me know if y'all can't hear me. I am on my, this is my tablet, not my computer or phone. Carla Woody says, good evening from Heavenly Stitches. Good evening. Kingsbury Crafts is saying hey to Will. Heather Butler, how are you? Nanette, how are you? Oh, you haven't? Okay, Latasha, no worries. Hey, Miss Carol Coleman, how are you? Welcome. Thank you for joining us. And thank you for being a YouTube Group captain. I appreciate that. Amelia Rodriguez from Bronx, New York. Hello, Scooby Doo in the house. What up? Welcome. Thank you for joining us, and thank you for being a YouTube Group member. Embroidery Diva, love the name. Hello, how are you? Susan Green, she says, planning on buying a new embroidery machine. I'm interested in the Baby Lock Flourish too. Have you seen this and what do you think about it? Well, hi Eva, our moral mail. The Laverne, the bells are here. I don't have the decals for the bells, nor am I in a space to send anything. Everything from my studio to my home to my equipment, everything is in storage because I've moved. I sold my home and am in the process of waiting to close on the new home. And there's that 2 week. I got a period of 2 weeks from the close of one to the close of the next before I can even think about trying to unpack anything and send anything out. Unfortunately, so I've even had to shoot out some emails. I had hoped actually to close on the 29th. We were trying to see if we could get them to allow us to close earlier, but that did not pan out. So right now we're looking at the end of the week, possibly closing. And that being the case, if we are able to close by the end of the week, then I'm hoping not too much longer after that we'll be up and running and I'll be able to be in a space by our next live. Hopefully, we'll see how that goes. I am. There was a question. How did that question go? Hold on, let me go back. Volume is very low. Okay. Let me move you closer. Even though it's zooming in on all this gray hair, my bad on that. Baby Lock Flourish too. So when it comes to equipment, actually let me look at the Baby Lock Flourish because I want to be sure that I'm talking about the right machine. Because if this is a new machine, I'm not familiar with it yet. But I am familiar with the brand Baby Lock. And what in the world? Oh, wrong search. Duh. Okay, sorry, my bad. I was wondering why that wasn't pulling up. Baby Lock Flourish. Did you say 2? Baby Lock Flourish. Sorry, I'm scrolling back up. Flourish 2, you did say that. Okay, so it is a single needle machine, and it looks like it's bigger than 5x7. So in case you're wondering, the machine she's asking about, this is it. It's the Baby Lock Flourish. It's a single needle machine. And here on eBay, they have it for $15.99. I don't know if this is a new machine or what have you. Let's see. Maximum embroidery field size is 6x10, so that's cool. Okay. Cool. So, what do I think about a single needle? So, first of all, the larger hoop size is very beneficial. I don't know what price you're looking at paying. As you saw there on eBay, they're asking 15, well 16 technically. But the thing with eBay and other retailers right now, because embroidery machines are that's not bad. Embroidery machines are such a hot commodity right now. It is insane how, because I even went online, because I packed up everything. I only have one sewing machine in my trunk that I had in my trunk prior to actually packing up, and I forgot I had it. As a matter of fact, I brought it here because I was gonna try and do some work here this was prior to moving, because I've been here before I moved. But I forgot about the sewing machine, I'm trying to say. So when it was time to pack up my studio, I packed up all of my machines. So each machine is boxed and put up and labeled. So all of that is in storage right now. So I was going to go on Facebook Marketplace or um, Offer Up, which is the app on the phone where you can buy from people who have like Craigslist, for instance, but not Craigslist, and see if I could find a 770, a used 770, or an 800 possibly. I knew I probably would find that, but a 770, which is the 5x7 embroidery machine, and none, not one, not any at all, not even a 4x4 was out there. And when I go on Amazon, Amazon sold out. So saying all of that to say, because it's a commodity right now, prices are like super super high. However, the larger embroidery machines, like with this one being 6x10, 9 times out of 10 that is pretty much the price for it, because the 5x7 800, see, even Latasha says the 800s are selling double the price. The original price at one point in time for the 800 was like 580, 620, somewhere in that range, and now they're like way higher than that. So now that price for the Flourish, you're probably looking at a decent deal. um, Baby Lock and Brother, their single needle machines are phenomenal. I will say that and readily admit that. Especially the 5x7, for whatever reason, that's like the most stable embroidery machine that they make. Um, However, I do not have personal experience with the Flourish, but the Baby Lock brand and the Brother brand are one and the same. But Baby Lock is like their flagship high end machinery, whereas Brother is the low end. And if I'm remembering correctly, they don't make a larger single needle Brother. Well, yeah, they do, because they got the Dream Machine, so they do make bigger ones. So let me not say that. I'm misspeaking, and I don't want to do that. But at any rate, Brother is an excellent brand, especially for their single needle machines. So give it a shot. If it's used, um, just, oh, and you said new embroidery machine. So if it's new and it's never been used, then make sure you see if where you're purchasing it from has any form of warranty or what have you. But if it's used, just play with it for a little bit. And what we're going to try to do is get in touch with, not get in touch, get a video out on tension, which I have one already, but do a little bit of an updated video to give a little more clarity when it comes to tension, how to tell when tension is too tight, when it's too loose, and that'll help eliminate a lot of stress and problems with folks in learning new embroidery machines and how to troubleshoot them. So that's what we're working on in the background. In my downtime, yay, putting together a list of subjects for videos to put out. So that's the plan anyway. Hello, Shamira Customs. How are you? Let us see. Yvette says we can hear. Cool. How did you learn the right pressure for different sublimation? I am just getting started, and it is kind of frustrating. Well, Amy, one of the things that I did, I tell everyone, when you're getting into sublimation, read the manufacturer's directions with whatever item it is that you're working with. So whether it's mugs, whether it's plates, whether it's keychains, whether it's plaques, whatever the case may be, wherever you got it from should have directions and instructions on the best way to get the best results. All right. Well, that being said, a lot of times what they'll do is show light pressure, medium pressure. Let me see if I can't pull up one that you guys hopefully can see, and see what those instructions look like, and that way you know what to look for. The thing is making sure that you go to where you purchased it from, because different places have different brands of items. Like for instance, I do promote, um, oh my gosh, Conde Systems very frequently. They send a lot of really cool things for you guys to see us work on this channel, and samples of stuff. But they also let us know what the times and temperatures and pressures and stuff is, right? So the thing is, hold on, it's Sublimation. The thing is, that company sells a certain type of mugs and um, shirts and whatnot, but then this other company may have a different brand. So you definitely need to read what their differences are. Like for instance, this other company, not um, Conde, this other company, they do mugs. So they have stainless steel mugs, they have white mugs. Now I'm talking about the tumblers. They have white ones. So you can choose either or. They also have shot glass and stuff like that. So for instance, here is a sublimatable mug that I did. Let me see if I can get that to come through. There's one of the mugs that I did. Actually, it was personal that I did for my husband, and it's a, as you see, a wide grip at the top and go narrow at the bottom. So you kind of have to figure out how to sublimate that. Well, if you look down here, there's details, pricing, inventory, and how to. So you would just select how to. And this company is pretty cool because they give you instructions on how to do something before you even buy it. Whereas other companies tend to not give you instructions or templates until after you've purchased. But as you see on here, it gives, I touched how to, and it tells you product instructions. There's a mug up there at the top. Well, y'all already saw the picture, but here are the instructions. Let's see if we can't see if that makes a difference. Yes, it does. Holler. All right, so there's the mug. So here it tells you sublimation. If you're going to do sublimation in a convection oven with shrink wrap, it gives you instructions on how to do that. It tells you the temperature, it tells you the time frame. Same principle if you're going to in a convection oven with silicone wrap. Then they also give you instruction. They have tips. So they tell you how to sublimate and get the best results, and that's what you want. You want a friendly company that lets you know. Now if you get a company that doesn't let you know, then it's going to be trial and error, unfortunately. Rule of thumb, start at temperature at 380, but in a lot of times when it comes to pressure, I don't want to say more is better because that could be incorrect, especially with fragile things like glass or whatnot. But with your keychains, luggage tags, shirts, stuff like that, you want a nice firm pressure, a firm even pressure, because if you don't have firm even pressure, then it will cause the sublimation paper to like wave, and you'll get an uneven printout on your shirt. So there'll be like streaks or something like that in your press out on the shirt. So unfortunately, it's trial and error. But I definitely start 380 degrees for 60 seconds and see how it goes. But at the end of the day, you definitely need to check with the manufacturer. That's hands down first and foremost that you want to do, because you want the best results and you don't want to waste your supplies and your product. So definitely check with the manufacturer of whoever you bought your blanks from. Latasha, do you mind speaking about financing for the red line or suggestions? You sent me an important email. Okay, I will try and check that. I've been kind of behind on the emails and taking them like one day at a time, depending upon what the subject matter is. I don't recall seeing an email, but that's pretty much how things have been going lately. But financing for the red line, if I'm not mistaken, they offer financing there. You would just check with Valerie at Redline, and she will talk to you about the option that they do have for financing. If you don't want to go through whomever it is that they use for financing, I do know that PayPal is does very well in helping small businesses, in helping them get financing. And PayPal credit is not super difficult to get. Now, you may not be able to get that large amount, but PayPal does offer financing. There's a couple of other companies out there that would finance business equipment, and I guess it would be good for me to check out and see what some of those are. I know one person told me about a place, but it was a local place, and I'll have to call her about that one. But in my experience, um, see if you could find like a local lending company that you could work with. There's a lot of those type companies. Only problem is you're looking at high finance charges, but a lot of these companies have high finance charges. So, in all honesty, if you could secure a loan with like a credit union where your interest is lower, that would probably be your better bet if financing is your only option, because you don't have to worry about high interest charges. So if you have a good relationship with your credit union or your bank, but credit unions generally have lower interest rates, I would check with them. But PayPal is good too, and they also have a new program with working capital loans as well. If you're a business and you've been doing business and you accept payments through PayPal and you get payments regularly, they have a working capital loan as well that you could possibly qualify for and use for financing. PJ Cop is working on a mask again for my family members who has students returning to school next month. Yes, it is. That's going to be pretty huge. I know here in North Carolina, the children are going to be required to wear their masks when they go back. So um, people are scrambling literally to get a hold to masks. And I know Charlotte, the city of Charlotte, gave out 2 million masks this past weekend, to make sure that folks were safe while celebrating their holidays, and spending time with family and friends and barbecuing and things like that. They gave away masks, 2 million of them for free. But the children, yes, they are going to definitely need masks. So, and children like to be unique. So, if at all possible, check with your family, friends, neighbors to see if they would like some masks with school mascots on them, or not necessarily school mascots, but the school names. Check with your local schools to see if you can qualify to provide masks, possibly. That's a thought process. The school team, um, school spirit clubs, all of that stuff is coming up, and everybody needs masks. So, hello, Eve, here in Temecula, California. It's hot. Glad you're on, Carmen Alvarado. No worries. It's hot here too. It was so hot today. Oh my God, I stepped outside and melted in 2 minutes. It was crazy. But fortunately, it started to cool off a little bit. It threatened storm, but it never did. It never did storm. But it looked like it was going to storm pretty bad here, but it never did. So that helped cool it off. Felicia, thank you very much. I don't care to move either because it is a lot of work. So, but I am excited about the changes coming up and doing a new studio, putting a new studio together. That's going to be fun. Hello, Sandra Clements. How are you? Susan Green. Hello. Thank you, Laverne Miller. How are you? Mary Stovall. Thank you for being a YouTube group captain. I appreciate that. Some sellers are price gouging for machines. Yes, they are. Sonia Siegler. Hello. How are you? JD Cougar says, or Cogger. I want to make sure I pronounce that correctly. Be very careful on eBay as scammers are awful there. Do not fall for pictures of new inbox photos. Oh my gosh. That's tragic. Vanessa Jones, brother has a 9x14 hoop. And I thought about it after a while because, like, the Dream Machine is a bigger size hoop as well. What about Janome sewing machine for embroidery? Is that a good? So, Janome does make an embroidery machine. So if you're talking about their embroidery line, I know quite a few people who use Janome and they're okay with it. As a matter of fact, while you're in here, um, if you're in here and you have a Janome, please let us know in the chat so that Miss Dale Gore can see whom else may have a Janome and whether or not you're satisfied with it or not. Melissa Dye says, I buy from Sewing Machines Plus. Their prices are fair and you can finance 60-day return as well. So Sewing Machine Plus offers financing, so that's good to know. And a 60-day return policy is excellent. Susan Green, you're welcome. Just bought a Janome MC 14,000 and I love it so far. Not cheap though. Is that the, what is it, 4 needle? I think that one was the 4 needle. Is that the one you have? Cheryl says, I just bought an Epson 7710 and switched it out to a sublimation printer. Do you have any good program sites I can use to get started doing t-shirts, and where can I buy t-shirts wholesale? No good program sites except for, well, actually, and if my live pulled up, I'll have to check and see if it did. If it pulled in my normal settings, then Creative Fabrica should be in the description below. Oh shoot, let me turn this down before it. Yep. Let's see. Spit out and description. Yeah. Stitchtopia. Okay, so Creative Fabrica is not in the description, but I'll have to see about putting that down in the description for you. But Creative Fabrica, they have a lot of really cool designs that could be used for sublimation. As a matter of fact, in the Hoop group I posted on Facebook, I posted a link to Creative Fabrica to purchase, I think it was 101 mask templates for sublimating on face masks, which was actually really cool because it took, which surprised me, it took a while for people to catch on to creating designs made especially for masks. But when it did catch on, you know, now people are really starting to, you know, be creative with, you know, the designs and stuff that they put on masks. Now I'm not talking about like for instance, I sold a lot of cowboy fans masks and stuff like that, where there was designs made for them, but meaning like a smiley face that would be cute, or like one guy had Shrek face, Donkey's face rather, and when he put the mask on, you see what I'm saying? So designs that were made especially for the mask, those haven't really, it took a while for people to start coming out with those. So Creative Fabrica has a lot of sublimation designs and fonts that you can use to sublimate on items, whatever it is that you choose to sublimate. And the membership is not super expensive either. And or you can do pay as you go. You don't have to have the membership. I am an affiliate for Creative Fabrica, but even if you went through on your own without going through the affiliate, they have very good designs, a lot of designs. I mean, tons and tons and tons of designs and fonts that you can use for sublimation. Now, as far as t-shirts wholesale, you can try Jiffy shirts, I think is what it is. Jiffy t-shirts, jiffyshirts.com, I think is what it is. Their prices are close to wholesale. I know what I pay at my wholesaler, and I know how much I get my shirts from Jiffy Shirts, and the difference is only like by change, like 50 cents or something like that. So Jiffy Shirts would be a good option to go through if you don't have a local wholesaler. Melissa Dodd says, I only have Janome. I really want that red line. No, the red line is an excellent machine. Miss Social Dev says, hello everyone, and Janome is a great machine, so Miss Social Dev knows about that. Sandra Clements bought from Ken Sewing in Alabama. Hey, Miss Eartha Lewis, how are you? Colette Martin, hello, how are you? You're welcome, Dale. Kim's Crafty Creations, the Brother P800 on the Brother website is selling for $7.29. So that's about how much it is. I would expect it to be a bit more than on Amazon because I believe the one on the Brother website is a more beefed up version, for like a better description, more heavy duty, whereas the one on Amazon, from what I understand, is like a little lightweight, which I haven't verified that for myself, so I don't know where I don't even know how they came up with that, but that's what I was told. So $7.29 is not a bad price. Angela Chase, what material did you use when you sublimated the mask? I used polyester. I have two different options of polyester. One is 100% polyester. The other option is 80-20. And the 80-20 sublimates pretty darn close to the 100%. If you're not someone who does sublimation, you probably wouldn't be able to tell that it's not 100% polyester, and it looks and feels like cotton, a slightly thicker cotton. So that's what I use, the 80-20. Hello, Pearl Lucas, how are you? Leila Nelson, except for my red line, I have Janome embroidery and sewing machines too. You have the MB4. So here's another very happy Janome user. Sylvia, hello, how are you? She says she has one as well. That's what's up. So Janome's a popular machine, so it looks like you won't go wrong with that. Angela Chase asked, does anyone have a FAF embroidery machine, and do you like the performance? I've never seen the FAF, so that would be new for me. Hello, Teresa Jackson. Hello, hello. Yvette says you're doing tutus and embroidered shirts. Thanks for the puff embroidery tutorial. I have a baby lock multi-needle and a Singer heavy duty. Can you recommend proper tension, stitch length, width, or tool? No, I cannot. I don't embroider on tool. And if you are talking about stitching, not embroidery, the thing that people tend to not realize, which is difficult to explain, but not every embroidery machine, not every sewing machine is the exact same. So I may have a PE 800, which is the 5x7 Brother embroidery machine, and then Miss Leila Nelson may have a PE 800, same machine, and then someone else can have the exact same machine. My tension could be set on 3, hers could be set on 4, and hers could be set on 2. The difference is the machine, the maintenance of the machine, first and foremost, because if I have more gunk and stuff, lint and old oil and grease and stuff like that built up in the bottom of my embroidery machine, it has to work harder in order to stitch better. So I would need to adjust I would be tempted to adjust my tension instead of cleaning out my machine to allow the machine to function properly. You also have your needle that you have to consider, the material you're stitching on you have to consider. So all of that goes hand in hand along with the function of the machine to determine your tension. So the way to determine the proper tension is to basically do a test stitch out, which is what is recommended by all embroiderers, and honestly it's recommended in the sewing industry as well. So if you're doing embroidery, then what you would do is get a scrap piece of the exact same fabric that you've never embroidered on before and you're not sure what tension to put it at. And it also depends on the thread that you're using, because metallic thread uses a completely different tension than regular polyester thread, or even rayon thread could possibly have a different tension, and the weights could mess with your tension as well, because a 75 weight which is the very small, thinnest embroidery thread, could need a lighter or heavier tension rather than the regular 40 weight thread, which is what normal embroidery thread is. But you would need to get a sample of the fabric that you've never embroidered on before and run a test stitch out of either the H test, which are letter H's all over, with your different needles. If it's single needle, it'll only be one H. If you have multi needle, you would do it with each needle in a different color to determine what needle the tension is off on, and try and find out how to fix the tension, whether the tension is too tight or too loose. All right. If it's sewing, like sewing with tulle, is very difficult. A lot of times people use tissue paper and sandwich the tulle in between in order to give the sewing machine something to grip in order to get that stitch to be able to, stitch properly. That being the case, you would again use a sample of tulle and run your straight stitch on it and see what that tension looks like, and then you would adjust the tension accordingly. And generally when you adjust tension, you want to adjust up at the top. You don't want to touch your bobbin tension usually. Now you really need to know what you're doing with your tension if you start messing with that bobbin case, but in most instances it's not your bobbin case. In most instances it's the tension up top. All right, so I do not use tulle, so that's why I'm sorry, Miss Yvette, I can't be too much help with that. I did make a what is it called, petticoat, I guess, the underskirt to a circle skirt a long time ago, and I honestly, it was so long ago I don't remember whether I had any issues with tension on that or not. And that was just a straight stitch, it was not embroidery. That was before I started doing embroidery. So I'm not a good candidate to advise on tension, other than to instruct you, as I mentioned, just do a test stitch, and adjust your tension. You're either going to turn it right to tighten your tension or turn it left to loosen your tension, based on how it stitches out. Now, I will say this, I am working with someone who is mechanically inclined with embroidery machines to help us understand tension better and what to look for with a tension test in order to determine whether to tighten it or loosen it. We're also looking at doing some a stabilizer video as well, to give an update on stabilizer, what better stabilizer to use and whatnot. So but I will say, Yvette, if it's tulle and it's a straight stitch, try using tissue paper, not like toilet tissue, but like your wrapping tissue paper, and see if that helps grip it and keep it straight for you. Miss 143 says, hey, all at your son's home out of town, but had to catch you. Well, tell your son I said hey. And thank you for letting you step away for a little bit to come and join us. Eddie Jr. Hey, Eddie Jr., how are you? Welcome. Sunny Webster, hello, I am, thank you. Amy Painter, you're welcome. Embroidery Diva, you're welcome. Geneva Capital is a good company. Geneva Capital for financing. Okay, so there is a suggestion there. Latasha, I think it was, asking about financing. So Geneva Capital, thank you, Scooby Doo. That was awesome suggestion. Same in Biloxi, Mississippi, and they have to have masks here. Yeah, it's going to be a requirement because unfortunately the cases just keep going up, and that's sad. Gail Whitaker says, excellent idea. Yeah, check with those schools. From Greenville, Mississippi, welcome. Welcome. Melinda Barber, haven't been able to catch your live feed. Quick question, do you have a suggestion to where I can order some good quality kitchen towels to embroider? Okay, so the way it, actually, let me back up. A lot of that, Melinda, depends on what type kitchen towels you're looking for. So if you're looking for some with a pile, or if you're looking for cheesecloth, those towels, like, oh my God, Huck towels, or, you know, just your thin kitchen towels, there's a plethora of options available on Amazon. The reason why I would suggest Amazon off gate for right now, is because all of your options, there are tons of options in one place, and you can take the time to shop, look and see what's out there, and then make your decision on which route you want to take, and it comes to you. You know, you just let it be shipped to you. Now, that being said, there are certain kitchen supply stores that are out there, like commercial kitchen supply stores. Like we have several here locally in Charlotte, where you can go and purchase restaurant or kitchen supplies, and you can buy bulk. Sam's Club may be an option, or one of your larger, uh, like wholesale clubs. You can probably check there. However, Amazon tends to have a wider selection, and if you were to go to like Target or Walmart, now sometimes Walmart or Target or Bed Bath and Beyond may have a specific selection at a decent enough price where you could purchase in bulk and it not break the bank. So do your due diligence, do your research, get some prices on what you like that you see off of Amazon. Go on the Google kitchen towels, um, linen kitchen towels if that's what you're looking for, or Hook kitchen towels if that's what you're looking for, to see what all is out there and look at the prices. And then once you find the type towel you like specifically, I mean all the way down to the very detail, then Google that and see where you could possibly purchase it wholesale. Now, sometimes I would suggest order from overseas, but the problem is at this point, a lot of overseas shipping has stopped because of the tariffs and stuff like that. So, unfortunately, usually Amazon is the best bet. Sierra Martin, hello, welcome. Thank you for joining us. Melinda, I was getting them from Walmart but can't find them anymore. So, yes, so check. Now, have you tried Walmart online? Walmart.com, just because you can't find them in the store, they may still be available online. You can have them shipped, even though Walmart shipping takes forever. But definitely check on Amazon, see if you can find it there. But obviously, I'm sure you probably checked Amazon already, being that you were getting them from Walmart. But otherwise, Google it, honestly, because if Walmart had it, then I'm sure somebody else will have it as well. Colette says, what's the biggest hoop for the PE800? I'm thinking on putting designs on children's shorts or sleeves. Would that be beneficial? I have a 650 but want something smaller. If you're talking about the sleeves and stuff, sleeves, because you're working with a tube, it's possible the fast frames on your multi-needle machine would be best, unless you're talking about little teeny children. And in that instance, yeah, I mean a smaller embroidery machine would probably fit the bill a little bit better. However, the largest hoop size for the 800 is 5x7, the standard hoop that comes with it. You can get a repositional hoop off of Amazon, which is an aftermarket hoop, and that is 5x12, roughly right at 12 or something to that effect. So that hoop size, I think, may be too big for children, but you can go smaller even with the PE800. I was just talking to someone else about 2 hours ago about the smaller machines and the benefit of those smaller machines, and how sometimes the smaller machines are easier to work with than the multi-needle machines. You know, it's like less cumbersome, and you just, you know, you don't have to think about it, throw it on and go on about your business. You change the thread as you need to, but there are heavenly benefits as well with those multi-needle machines. So you kind of have to pick your poison. Heather Butler, I can't wait to get started on it either, so I'm super excited. Patty Shelton, hello to you as well from Tennessee. Dale Gore, you're welcome. Thank you very much for joining us this evening. Heather Butler, I have a Meridian baby lock and it has a 9x14. Ooh, that's a big hoop. I know you're enjoying that. Jackie A. Hi all. Just wanted to say I really enjoy your mini videos. Thank you. I appreciate that. I'm still a newbie. I have a Brother 625 SE, wishing for something bigger, but learning. Girl, learn how to make the most out of that 4x4. The 4x4, yes, dreaming big is there. I did dream big as well. However, that 4x4 can open up so many possibilities. And what I've learned is the bigger you go, the longer it takes to do the embroidery and the more you spend as well, because you're talking about bigger stabilizer, whereas right now you can just get those 4x4 sheets and be good, you know, not 4x4 sheets, sorry, 8x8, and use them with your 4x4 machine. You're not having to get the larger cones of thread, and the designs usually are less because you're doing smaller designs, whereas your larger embroidery designs usually cost a little bit more. But ultimately, it's the time thing that I did not expect when I switched to using the larger embroidery sizes. So, you know, that was a sticker shock to me to go from being able to embroider something in 5 minutes to 10 minutes, and now all of a sudden it takes 50 and 60 minutes to stitch something out because it's just that big. So and sometimes in some instances it really isn't even that big, but it just takes that much longer because it's bigger than those smaller sizes. So keep that in mind when dreaming bigger. And yeah, embroidering a larger area is cool, but it's going to take a lot longer and a lot more thread. So it's okay to kick it with that 4x4 for a little bit. Something happened to the sound. It sounds muffled. It maybe, no, it shouldn't be because my hands are away. I don't think, hold on. No, I don't know where the microphone is on this thing. I have a Janome multi-needle, both Janome 500E, love them both. Awesome. So that's good to know. So a lot of positive feedback on that Janome. Laverne Miller says she uses that tension. Hopefully, Yvette, you saw that. So that's a lot of information. Hopefully, will be helpful. And give it a shot. And who knows, that could work for you. Stacy G says, Eve, I want to start doing embroidery on t-shirts. Do I stock up on blanks? If yes, how do I determine how much in each size? Your thoughts. Stacy G, I made the executive decision at one point in time in my business to stock up on blank t-shirts. Not just because of, or not for embroidery, actually, it was more of a vinyl and rhinestones. But what I learned, there's pros and cons. There's pros and cons. The pros is when a customer comes to you with an order, you don't have to order anything. You don't have to wait on anything. You have the shirt in stock. You have it on hand. You grab it, do what you need to do, and give it to the customer. If a mistake is made, you have inventory right there with you to go ahead and get the order out. That's the pros. The cons, however, are you have inventory on hand that in a lot of instances that's not even what the customer wants. Can't tell you how many times I've stocked up on your basic round neck t-shirt and they're like, oh no, we want v-neck, or oh no, we don't want black, we want white, or oh, we want this weight shirt, we want this brand shirt, we don't want that brand shirt. So you will find yourself not only stocking up on certain colors, certain sizes, certain brands. You know, it's ridiculous. So what I found personally was, even with jiffyshirts.com, if I had to order a shirt, it's usually there within the next day or the day after. Usually with Jiffy Shirts, I get it the next day. So, and a lot of that depends on how far you are from their shipping it. And if you go on their website, it'll tell you how far you are from one of their inventory places. So if you have a specific place that you get your shirts from, Like, I was fortunate enough at the time where my house was that I sold. I wasn't very far from my from my distributor, where I went and picked up my wholesale shirts. So if a customer wanted a specific color, a specific size, and a specific type, 9 times out of 10, I could go that same day up until 3 o'clock and pick that order up and have it by that evening to do the order for the customer. But if you're already telling your customers, okay, well, my turnaround time is 4 business days, then that automatically already gives you time to order the shirts. So you're not keeping inventory on hand that may go stale or may not even be used. I have tubs of shirts that are in storage now, not being used. They're not being used because what I'm finding is the shirts I have are not the shirts folks want. They want to order what they want at that time, usually. So, keeping blanks, if you're a shop where people walk in and expect to get their stuff right then, that's a little bit different. But if you're at home and you're doing orders as you get them, I wouldn't stock up on it. Me personally, I wouldn't. Unless it's something, I mean, I don't see your basic Gildan t-shirt in the basic colors running out anytime soon in most of your basic sizes. I mean, they keep t-shirts on hand because that's their bread and butter. But a specific shirt, like certain sweatshirts, certain colors that could go, what do they call it, discontinued or something like that, then you may want to stock up on those. Melinda says, love Creative Fabrica. They have so many designs and the membership is reasonable. Yes, yes, it is. Yes, it is. Hello, Marge Campbell. How are you? Welcome. Does one should use different needles for sewing tool? No, I don't think. I did not. I just use your regular basic sewing embroidery needle. The standard, usually 7511 or 8012, something like that. And it's not stretchy, so I wouldn't use jersey knit either. Hey, Mama Douglas, how are you? Welcome. What is the best needle for the P800? Brand wise, Organs are great needles. They're excellent needles, actually. The Organ brand. But your what is the name of that other needle? SCHM something or other. My brain. I'm tired. Grandbabies were here today, so I'm a little bit worn out. But those needles are good too. I haven't had any issues. I use both interchangeably. The size that I use usually is a 90-14, but I use the large eye needles because they tend to not shred my thread as much, and I don't have a lot of thread breakage with the large eye needles for the embroidery machines. And they are available for the smaller brother machines and the commercial machines as well. And that's called top stitch. Usually the top stitch or metallic needle is what I tend to use with embroidery on my machines. But I do have a video on needles and choosing needles, so definitely check that out. Spoiled Pretty, hello. She says, for sewing, whoo, I learned to use 2 different color threads to tell which tension needle needs to be adjusted with my sewing machine. Spoiled Pretty, that is an absolutely phenomenal idea that I completely forgot about because I don't sew. But that is an excellent idea. And that's pretty much the theory with the embroidery machine as well, doing the H test. Okay, so in most instances with the embroidery machine H test, your colors are up at the top, and we usually use a white bobbin thread. So that makes it easier to tell the difference with the tension, which one has the higher tension or the less. So yes, that same theory applies with sewing. If you use one, like a white bobbin and then a darker colored thread on top, that'll help you determine where your issue is, or a color thread rather up top. That'll help you determine where your issue is when you're sewing. Jackie A, I found some of my mother-in-law's quilt blocks. She had cross stitch on block design around what's done, which I suppose is to be done in French knots. Can I just use a decorative stitch instead? I mean, you can use a decorative stitch when doing your quilting blocks, but the problem is, are you trying to match what your mother-in-law has done. Because if you're like mending or adding to the quilt, then you may not get it to look quite as the same, and it can wear differently with that quilt. But I'm not a professional quilter, so I would definitely check with your local quilting um, guild or quilting studio or quilting store to ask that question. Let's see. Also, in doing, would you put it in a hoop to work it, or would you just do the regular sewing? Which foot would you recommend? So again, I'm not um, a quilter at all. I tried to quilt, and that attempt lasted for all of, I want to say, 3 days, and then I gave up because I'm uh, so particular about how things look. And but what I will say is, when I did do quilting, I was embroidering on the square, and I did hoop it. So I did hoop the block in order to, create the design and then put the quilt together. But as far as which option, which foot, things like that, I'm not a quilter, so I can't answer that question. I'm sorry. Sylvia says, I hardly oil my machine, but I do clean the lint in my machines. Am I doing something wrong? No, you're not. You definitely want to keep an eye on your equipment and find out. See, if you're still, I don't know if you're still in Puerto Rico or not, and how easy it is to contact someone who services machines, but definitely keep in touch with a regular service person to ensure that your machine lasts as long as it possibly can. Do you know anything about the Sawgrass 500 Chrome Blast? No. Or sublimating on cotton? No. I was in discussion with a company about the Chrome Blast, but then COVID kind of like did the clinch with the claws type thing, and we kind of like put a hold on it. So I actually probably need to reach back out to them, but I haven't heard anything from them. Hello, Cheryl Brown, Life Exposed. Welcome. Thank you for joining us. Welcome, welcome. Luana Stark. Hello. How are you? Welcome, welcome. Let's see. First time catching a live, Dorian Bari. Well, welcome. Thank you for joining us live. We hope you're enjoying yourself so far. Jackie A says, sorry, gotta leave. Don't have good internet, so I'll catch you later on a replay. Thank you. I appreciate you joining us. And my internet probably is going to be wonky a little bit too. Cheryl says, yes, love having inventory. However, she's right. You never know what the customer wants. And that's one of the things that just like really did me in, because I thought I had a good deal, and I bought all of those shirts, and it took forever to get rid of the shirts, and I really still haven't gotten rid of all of them, because the the group that I bought those shirts for were regular customers. So I was like, I'm going to think ahead and just go ahead and buy extras, and I'll have them on hand. And that worked at first, but then all of a sudden they switched up on me and started ordering something entirely different. And I'm like, oh my God, I have all this inventory I spent all this money on. And at the time, it really wasn't money that I could afford to spare, but I did it anyway, and did not recoup from that for a while. So be careful with inventory. Be careful with inventory. It would be better for drop shipping, which drop shipping is basically what I was just explaining, where you, well, in a way is what I was explaining, where when you have a supplier and you order on demand, and now actual drop shipping is when you call up Jiffy Shirts and say, hey, I got a customer, she wants her name embroidered on the shirt, embroider it for her, they embroider it and they send it to your customer for you. Technically that's drop shipping, but the lesser side of it, just call up Jiffy Shirts, hey, I need, or online, order your 3 shirts that this customer wants, or the 20 shirts for that order, let it be shipped to you. You charge your customer shipping anyway, and go ahead and do the order that way. You're not wasting money. I usually still order 1 or 2 extra shirts for errors, but for the most part, I I don't order inventory anymore. Will there be more tutorials on the repositional hoop for those who have the 4x4 machines? We can work on that. The thing with the repositional hoop is I didn't want it to be like redundant, but I guess we could like try and trim the fat and do a more efficient video on it, a more updated video, so we possibly can do that. Glue, paper, scissors. When I run into a clearance, I stop. Like today, I bought navy blue T-shirts for $197. Now, see, again, I've done that. I have done that. But matter of fact, I have, because we packed up those T-shirts, and they were were they T-shirts or were they tank tops? I can't remember, because they were size large, and I remember thinking, you know, I could possibly wear them if I don't sell them, but there again, why do I need 10 navy blue shirts? For whatever reason, they were on clearance. I think they were like $1 each, and so I went ahead and bought them. And I can buy the shirt that I need. The color shirts are like $2.09 from my supplier. So I mean, really, and those shirts have been sitting there for the better of a year, and I haven't done anything with those shirts yet. So hopefully I'll have an opportunity in my new location, and I find some form of, you know, some avenue out this way somewhere, where I can do some embroidery and hopefully sell it or whatever the case may be. But for the most part, I'm not keeping inventory anymore. I am trying to read the PR 655 book to get started. Yes, please do that. Saw the live you did when you got your blessing, and I wanted to say I would never get rid of my SE 350 either, or my 780D. Do not get rid of your old machines, because what you'll find is you now have 3 embroidery machines to work on. So while the bigger machine is working on the bigger orders, the smaller machines can be working on the smaller orders, and everybody's happy because you're cranking out orders left and right because you didn't get rid of your machines. Or worst case scenario, one of your machines go down, you have a backup now. If you can afford to do so, I wouldn't ever suggest getting rid of your older machines. Angelia Baker, hello, how are you? So rough and stuff. Love it. Schmitz, thank you. Could not remember that to save my life. I appreciate that. And Debbie Bond, thank you. Appreciate that. Board Cure sewing and crafts organ needles are good. Yes, they do have titanium, but what I found, the titanium break more than my regular needles. It's crazy. Very, very crazy to me. So I'm iffy on titanium, but I do love my organ needles. Late, but I made it. Hi from Canada. Hello, Inspiration Creations. How are you? Sylvia says, I love how you give us so much information. You really are a special child of God. Thank you very much. I appreciate that, Miss Sylvia, and I hope you and your family are doing well. Scooby-Doo, my hat is off to all of you that adjust your attention with knobs. Ugh, I was not trying to do that, hence my Amaya XT. You have the Melco. No. You have the Amaya. That's as many as you get. So if I'm not mistaken, are they like Melco where it's computer adjusted? Yes, we do turn knobs. And I don't actually have anything negative to say about that, but I totally understand where you're coming from. Marge Schmitz, so what I use on my home embroidery machines. Miss Social Dev, thank you, Schmitz. What are your thoughts on the mighty hooping station? I got an order to make 36 shirts. Girl, you better get that hooping station. I was having trouble embroidering the front, so I needed to use a smaller hoop for the front. So the hooping station, I have a video on it. I have a couple of videos where we talk about it. I've always wanted it, and eventually was able to get it. They sent the hooping station, and as I've told you guys, I don't promote anything that I don't use. That hooping station, I absolutely love it. Love with everything that I have deep down in my soul. I love that hooping station because they really thought long and hard about the way it works and how it is. Yes, there are other hooping stations out there, No, I have not used any of the other ones, and I'm sure the concept is about the same. However, the others that I've seen, there's a lot of knobs and a lot of pins you got to put in place, and magnets, and just a lot of pieces that you can lose. I don't have to deal with that with this one. The pins are built into the couple of pins for the hooping to hold everything is built into it. I don't have to keep up with nothing else. I love that hooping station. Number one. Number two, for an order of 36 shirts, hooping station all day long. End of discussion. You slip the shirt on, find out where you need to put the logo, see how you got that shirt situated on that hooping station, make sure everything's lined up to where it need to be for your very first shirt, get that marked, and if the shirts are all different sizes, start with one size first. So 36 shirts, if you have 10 that are size large, start with that, line that first shirt up, and after that all you doing is snatching the shirt off and putting the shirt on, boom, snatching the shirt off, putting the shirt on, boom, and it's just that easy. It is that easy. I promise you, it's that easy. It was crazy to see how much time it saved me, and how every single shirt turned out the exact same way. There's no way that customer walked away saying, well, this logo is a little bit higher. If they took a ruler and measured, everyone was spot on, every single one of them, because I double checked. So definitely, if you can afford to invest in that hooping station, go for it. Go for it. Y'all know how I am. If I'm preaching from the rooftops about something, I've used it, I've seen it, I've seen the glory. That hooping station is everything. I love it. Oregon or Groves Beckert. I have heard of Groves Beckert. Have I used it? Yes. Groves Beckert came with one of my machines. So yes, excellent needles are out there. Will you be having your business class for beginners? What are some tips to get customers? Jackie Creeks asks, and thank you for being a YouTube group member. I appreciate that. There is going to be another seminar coming up. There will be one we're looking at mid to end September, somewhere in September, possibly October, depending upon how things go with COVID and my move. Because right now, as I've mentioned earlier, with me relocating, everything is like stuck and stopped. I'm in like limbo at the moment, so I'm not able to do much of anything. But we do have a company working for us in the background on making sure that everyone has a nice, awesome transition into your classes, and everything goes well, and the classes function like they're supposed to on the platform that they're supposed to, and your emails and notifications, all that cool stuff. So yes, we do have a business class coming up. Tips to get customers. Look, I'm gonna tell y'all the same thing my grandpa told me. Matter of fact, he said, look in your own backyard. A lot of times what you're missing is in your own backyard. Meaning, look at the businesses that are around you now. You don't have to reach out all the way to California to get that multi-million-dollar deal. You might have a multi-million-dollar deal around the corner from your house at this company who is so dissatisfied right now with whomever is doing their embroidery at the moment, and they're ready for a change, and you might be the one to make that change for them. So check there, check your schools, check your dentist offices, check your when you're out and about and you see, like, for instance, where was I at? I talked to somebody recently, and it was dealing with buying my home. I can't remember who it was. I think it was the inspector. The inspector came out, and he had his little shirts. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was the inspector. He had his little shirts embroidered. Because I was standing outside talking to him, so that has to be who it was. And we got to talking about some of the things he found in the house as he was, after he got done inspection, most of it. But at any rate, long story short, his little shirt was embroidered, and I was like, so just holler at me if you need some embroidery done. And he was like, that's what you do? Yes, that is exactly what I do, and I do it from home. So if you're interested, I don't have that high overhead that other companies do. you know, just let me know if you need something and give us a shot, and we'll be happy to work with you. So, I mean, it's as simple as saying, give me a shot. Because at the end of the day, the worst thing they could say is no. Well, there's some other stuff they could say that could be worse. You know, they could say, oh, I've seen your work already and it's trash and I don't want to deal with you. So that would be kind of hurtful. But if they've never seen your work before, worst they can say is no. So check around you. Check around you. Cheryl Brown says, my goal is to be the supplier. Okay, so if you're trying to be the supplier and you're talking about shirts and stuff, then yes, you definitely need to have t-shirts on hand. You definitely need to have t-shirts or supplies on hand. So if you're trying to be a blank supplier, because I'm very familiar with one and she does have inventory. She doesn't have a whole ton of everything, but she does have inventory. But keep in mind, you gotta, you know, keep good tabs on what you have and rotate your stuff out and try and promote the things that you have the most of so that you're not sitting on inventory. Marge says, when I was a little girl decades ago, my mom taught me to hand embroider, cut work, pull work, hand quilt, and sew. You won't match any handwork perfectly with a machine. Now that much I do know, but otherwise, I'm not very familiar with quilting. Let's see, are your shirts cotton? Yes, my shirts are, well, not my sublimation shirts, but my embroidery shirts, bling shirts, cotton. Ronaldo says, hello from Atlanta, ATL. This is my first time catching you on live. I'm so glad I'm here learning so much. You're amazing. Thank you so much. Thank you, Ronaldo. I appreciate that. And definitely want to thank you for taking your time to be with us this evening. Heather Butler says, I will never get rid of my brother SE425. That little 4x4 is a workhorse. Yes, Lord, it is. Yes, it is. I will say that for sure. Hello, Miss D Purple One. Welcome. Thank you for joining us. It is a Melco. Okay, okay. See, I didn't know the AMAYA was Melco. But Melco is, yes, computer. I didn't. And what's funny is I didn't know that till the video I did with the friend of mine who was in the print shop. She had the Melco. And she told me, oh, I got to go in the computer and adjust the tension. I'm like, what? Wait a minute. What do you mean? Just twist the, oh, there aren't any knobs. That's crazy. So, yeah, I didn't even know that theirs was computer modulated. So my thing was, oh my God, what happens if something happens to their computer or whatever? But, I mean, I'm sure they figured all of that out and has that some kind of way worked in where you shouldn't have any issues. I'm trying to tell y'all. Okay. You're welcome, Boracua. The hooping stations are expensive, but I'm glad it will be worth it. Yes, very much worth the money. Cheryl Brown, I don't do embroidery. However, your information is very practical. Covers many apparel decorating techniques. Thank you. Thanks. I appreciate that. I appreciate hearing that. That's really cool to hear. Forever blessed. I'm getting the hooping station in the very near future. Please do. When you do, let us know so we can ring. Well, hopefully by next week we'll be able to ring bells again. But let us know so we can congratulate you on your new hooping station, because that's a baby too. Hey Eve, have you thought of selling some of your extra inventory? Shonda, I have. And what that boils down to was me taking the time to get that inventory out, find out, count my inventory, find out how much of what I have, figure out how much I'm going to sell it for, find an outlet to sell it at. I mean, it was just, you know, by the time I sat down and thought about all that work, I was like, yeah, you know what? I'll just sit on the inventory. Which is sad, but it's the truth, because I am, you know, I'm finding time to do extra things can be challenging, especially at this space and time that I'm at right now in my life. But at some point, yes, that would be very helpful. I know over the summer, this past summer in 2019, I did offload a ton of fleece inventory that I had, where I was making blankets and minky fabric and flannel fabric and stuff like that. Oh man, I got rid of so much fabric. It was crazy. Fortunately, I held on to a lot of my cotton fabric so that I could make the masks out of it. I'm glad I did, but I did get rid of a lot of inventory, and I probably will end up going back through my inventory once we set up the new shop, because I want to streamline. and actually focus, because I've gotten into the habit of wearing so many different hats and touching so many different areas of crafting. So what I'll probably do is consolidate and get rid of the ones that are my least favorite, and then get rid of what I do not do in bulk. But then hang on to the smaller things so that I can continue to do videos or what have you, like one or two of something. But for the most part, yeah, get rid of it. So yeah, that's the plan. Mandy's Full House, love the name. Good evening to you as well. Thank you very much. I'm planning to sell on Etsy, folks. Only gonna get the shirts that I sell. Me, here you go, customer. Thank you, ma'am. I know that's right. I know that's right. So yes, see, you are in control of what it is that you're selling. So you basically are responsible for your own inventory. Again, though, again, keep in mind, which is a really hard lesson sometimes for folks to learn, is just because you have the inventory, just because you're offering it, does not mean that you have the audience out there to buy it. So let me back up and reiterate that, because it hurt my feelings. It hurt my feelings when I had to come to realize that too. Because I'm like, ooh, what I have is totally adorable, it's super cute, and people are gonna buy it. And when I got crickets, my feelings was hurt. My feelings was real hurt. So I had to take my feelings out of it and stop and be realistic about what was going on with my business. So let me give you a for instance, and this is a for instance. I'm gonna see if I can come up with an example that won't be step on toes and stuff like that. But look, like for instance, look at the climate right now. I made a pillow with an embroidery design of a ballerina. All right, absolutely gorgeous. I use metallic thread, the whole nine. Beautiful pillow. It's in my car, and I was gonna put it up for sale. I still can. I still can. But what are the chances of that ballerina pillow selling versus a pillow selling right now that may have, say, for instance, a specific country flag on it, or what else? Something that would have maybe, okay, you got fall coming up, summer is on its way out. Child tripped me out when I went to, where was I at? It wasn't Joann's, it was Hobby Lobby. Oh my God, them fools is putting out Thanksgiving and Christmas already. And I'm like, we ain't even hit June good. But in the way, it wasn't even the 4th. And they're already putting that stuff out. So you pre-plan for something that you see coming. Just because you think it's cute and it's gonna sell doesn't mean it's gonna sell. So you be prepared to make something that may sit, unless you have found something hot and trendy. There's a lot of hot and trendy stuff going on in this country right now. If you're in the US, there's a lot of hot and trendy stuff. So if you're doing that, then yeah, it's a good possibility your stuff will sell and you'll be okay. Your inventory should shoot off the shelf. It should. But keep in mind, it still may not. So don't let it hurt your feelings. Business is business. And you have to learn how to read trends, and you have to learn how to not do what you want to do so much as is what works for what people are looking for, if that makes sense. So nothing faster than an embroidery machine, right or wrong, no matter what type. Embroidery machines are awesome. Scooby-Doo says, wear your designs. Oh, man, Scooby-Doo, these are great suggestions. Wear your designs so that you bring awareness to what you do. Check with your church. Wearing your designs, especially something unique, will garner attention. That's how I landed the naval ship radio station gig. That's really cool. So yes, brand yourself, promote yourself. Wearing your stuff so that people can see what it looks like or having family and friends wear your stuff so that people can see what it looks like. And make sure that people have a clear way to contact you if they want to buy from you. That's the other thing. Oh my God, that one kills sales faster than anything else. I have lost sales numerous times because people are like, "Oh, well, what's your website? I want to order off of your website." I mean, I have a website, but it's not for this. It's for a community of folks who do what we do. But I don't have a website where you can just go and order my stuff because my stuff is custom. I create my orders, or my orders all come from people who want something specific to them. So it's kind of hard for me to have a website where you can come and just buy stuff when I don't do just generic stuff. You see what I'm saying? So I lost a lot of sales. But if you do something specific, like what Yvette, what you're trying to do, it's not specifically custom. So you can have a website, but make sure people know a good, clear, easy to remember website that they can refer or that they can go to and remember and purchase your stuff. Or Instagram page or Facebook name, something where they know how to get in touch with you when they're ready to spend their money. Right? Right. So Crafty, hello, welcome, and thank you for being a YouTube hoop group captain. I appreciate that. Shonda Smalls Willis, thank you. I appreciate that. Kind of stressful, but I appreciate that. Voyage 3457, hello, how are you? Welcome. Forever blessed. I think you missed my earlier post. My husband just purchased a 15 needle red line for my birthday. Probably will have lots of questions for you. I did not see your post, my dear. I'm sorry. Thank you for all the information you give out to us. You're welcome. You're welcome. I did miss that. I don't recall seeing it at all. And congratulations on the red line. I really wish I had a bell to ring for you, but I do not, unfortunately. So hopefully in a couple of weeks we'll be back to bell ringing and yell slinging, and we'll have a good time. But definitely, first and foremost, give your husband a great big old hug, and if he ain't diabetic, a great big old slice of his favorite cake or pie, and tell him he is the awesomest husband ever. Okay, and let him know that came straight from YouTube, and you can show him this is proof that we were talking about him. Yes, sir, you are totally awesome for buying a 15 needle red line machine. Hero status. That's hero status right there. Yes, it is. So please do that for me in lieu of bell ringing. I apologize. Embroidery Diva, have a good night. Cheryl Brown, life exposed with your old inventory. You are telling my story. I bought a bunch of items when I first started. Fortunately, I have learned tons. Yeah, you kind of learn when you sitting on inventory and it's stale and it's been sitting for a year or 2 years. Now, when the ball drops, and not the ball drops, when the opportunity arises, and you're like, oh shoot, I got some of that in my inventory. I don't even have to buy it. Hey, perfect. You had it, it's there, and it works. Because I have had that happen. But in most instances, I still, matter of fact, I had some little bling keychains that I thought I sold all of them. Why did I find more? When I was packing up, I was like, oh my God, do you mean to tell me I had more of those? I didn't even know. So it's like you have inventory, sometimes you just completely forget about it. And then when you come across it, you just want to shed a tear and just go, man, I thought that was gone. You know, still had more. Still had more. Miss Lydia, you have a good night, and I hope your appointment goes well in the morning. Cheryl Brown, indeed on the website. I definitely have to upload my website this week, or I'll be sitting on this inventory forever. Yes, please get a way that people can contact you and stay in contact with you and place their orders. But ultimately, they just need to know how to get in touch with you when they want their stuff, when they're ready to spend their money. Felicia Storm. Hey, Felicia, how are you? Welcome, and thank you for being a YouTube Hoop Group member. She says, I also do custom designs rooted by Faith Designs. I was asked about a website. Hope it's okay to shout out my biz. It is. I have no issues with that for the most part. But the custom design thing is very um, interesting when it comes to how people can order. It can be done because there are many custom websites out there. Just think about it. You can go on Converse.com and order a custom pair of Chuck Taylors if you wanted to, and have things put on those shoes and stuff like that. But the problem is, you have to have the website, the back end of your website has to be one that you can set it up and make it where people can enter in what they want and order custom things. And that means a bit higher of an investment than just your basic free website off of like Wix.com or something like that. You kind of have to spend money in commerce in order to get what's needed if you want to be efficient and if you want to be competitive in today's industry. Bora Cura says, my hubby better step up. I just got a 6 needle. Girl, let that hubby be good with his 6 needle, because sometimes the hubby's got to do what they can do, and him's a good husband too for getting the 6 needle. So let him be great with him 6 needle. Shonda Smalls Will says, let me know when and if you are ready to sell. I will. Like I said, we'll be unpacking all of that crap here soon. So I'll be going through it and figuring out what in the world I'm gonna do with this stuff. Jesus, just pray for me, y'all. Pray for me. Hello, Miss Parker. How are you? Welcome. Thank you for joining us this evening. Felicia, okay, that's if you can handle the onslaught of business. That's true too. That's true. That's true. But if they don't know how to order, or don't have a means to order, it discourages a lot of people, because people are, what am I trying to say? They want ease of access, and they want as little contact. In most instances, what I'm finding out, as little contact as they can. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I'm the same way. If I want to order something, like for instance, ordering takeout, I would much rather. I am in love with being able to order takeout online on a website. I don't have to call, and people don't hear what I said because they're hearing the stuff in the restaurant, writing it down wrong, all that jazz. If I'm putting it in on the website and ordering it just a certain way, you can't say you didn't know, because it's on the website and it's printed out on the form that you got on your end, so you know what I ordered. Whereas in person, there's a greater margin of error. So people like me, the ones out there like myself, we want an interface that we can order off of, see your prices, know what's what before making a commitment. Then you have the old school folks that are like, no, I need to talk to somebody. So a lot of it depends on which clientele we're talking about. But at the end of the day, whether it's the person like me or whether it's the person that's old school and want to talk to somebody, you're still going to have to be able to handle the business that comes your way, or learn how to schedule out the business. That was one of my problems, learning how to balance that business and say, okay, well, I have 5 orders outstanding that I need to complete by the end of Friday, so your order cannot fit in this week too. Your order is going to have to wait till the following week, and I mean the middle of the week, because something can go wrong with one of these orders. I had to learn that, and I'm still learning that. That's a very difficult lesson for me, because I'm the type of person, I want instant gratification for things that I get. So I try to give that to my customers, and that's not good for me, because that puts me under stress. But it's a balance. You have to learn it. And Scooby-Doo, however it is that you handle that, and your wisdom and expertise, feel free to chime in. Jackie Creeks, thank you for being a YouTube Hoop Group member. Ask, can you change an HP printer to a Sublimation printer? That depends, Miss Jackie Creeks, on whether or not that printer has any aftermarket printer cartridges that you can refill yourself. If you have access to aftermarket cartridges that are empty and you can refill them, there's a high chance, high probability that you can turn it into a sublimation printer. So what I'm going to suggest to you is go online to a website. It's Ink, INK, the letter X, and then Pro, PRO, inkxpro.com. Or you can go on Amazon and type in Ink X Pro, and it will pull up a company that I've used for a very long time to get my ink cartridges, to get my continuous ink supply system, and my sublimation inks. Yes, there are other companies out there who, like Cosmos Ink, I love their ink, but Ink X Pro was the pioneer for me and getting me started in doing sublimation. And he has a lot of other brands of cartridges that go with other printers. So what I'm suggesting to you is go to inkxpro.com and look and see if your HP printer is listed on his website as a candidate of having an empty ink cartridge. And if it does, then he'll let you know yes or no. And make sure it says sublimation now, because there's also pigment ink that's out there, but we're looking for sublimation, not pigment. And the sublimation ink, if they have cartridges, then yes, yours can. If not, then I would be cautious about switching your printer. Miss Social Deb, how does everyone schedule their time to do their orders? I struggle with this. I do too, Miss Social Deb, mainly because I have chronic illness. So a lot of times there are days where I just am not up to doing orders when I had full intention of completing orders on a specific day, and my body was like, "You thought?" So in that instance, I have to go with what my body says, or get help, one of the two, or struggle through it. It just depends. But scheduling has always been an issue for me, and that for myself is why I tend to complete an order as quickly as I possibly can to anticipate having issues on down the road. But aside from that, I got business help. I have a business manager helping me, and a business assistant helping me. So I had to go the professional route. But there are programs out there like 17 Hats or Printful, companies like that that allow you to invoice customers, and it puts you in a schedule and helps you schedule out your customers, which is actually pretty darn cool, but it costs money every month in order to do that. So but yes, that is a common struggle for a lot of us because we're so creative. We tend to get lost in our creativity, and our orders get, pushed behind, so to speak. But if we focus and have some form of printout or notification or something that there are orders pending, it will help keep it like a chalkboard or whiteboard or something up where you can see the orders that you have pending. It'll help you keep them going and help keep them in focus so that you can get them completed. You're welcome, Felicia. Jackie says, so can you change any Epson printer to a sublimation printer? No, I'm not going to. So again, a lot of it depends on what aftermarket cartridges, refillable cartridges are available to you. It's not necessarily so much the printer, even though I've heard Epson and HP. I've never heard of anybody changing a Brother printer. So between HP and Epson, there are printers available. But again, go on inkxpro.com and he'll have a list of a lot of the printers that are available. They can be changed. Good night, Miss Marge Campbell. Do you ever do product reviews? I just sent that message to my manufacturer by mistake, but it's for you. I do, but it depends. So I have had products sent, and I have, but in most instances I buy products myself just to try them and see how they are, without contacting the company, so to speak, because I want to be sure that which for the most part my reviews are unbiased anyway, because if I don't, and I let people know that, companies know that if they send something and I'm not feeling it, then I'm not feeling it, and I'll let them know. But if I am feeling it, I will definitely let y'all know, and if I find it helpful. So I am a strong advocate for those companies and corporations that I believe in, that have been beneficial and helpful to me, and that are a great value, especially to the small business person. I like to promote them, whether or not there's a kickback to me or not. So I want you guys to succeed and utilize what's out there that can help you the best. So I have done product reviews, yes. It is a laser printer. No, laser printers cannot be changed to sublimation, only inkjet. Only inkjet printers. Colette says, I'm always running behind with my custom orders. I am so backed up now badly, knowing that the two people that usually work with me has been able to come in. I am overwhelmed. Colette, I totally get it. Totally get it. Been there. Take a deep breath. And I'm going to tell you what my business assistant told me. And it's, you take one order at a time, one day at a time. Do what you can. And then once you mark that one off the board, it feels good and pushes you to do the next, and then the next, and then the next, and then the next thing you know, you're looking at the board like, oh my God, I'm actually caught up. This is a miracle. So yeah, just one order at a time. Devote a portion of your day to knocking out old orders and go from there. But just don't get too terribly overwhelmed as much as you, because I'm bad about getting overwhelmed. You know, just take a deep breath. One order at a time is all you need to focus on so that you can get it done. Eve, the reason why I said that about the website, I ordered from a fairly new company and just received an email saying that they are overwhelmed with orders and can't give no shipping date. Sounds like my website. So yes, that's true. And that makes a lot of sense, Scooby-Doo, especially like right now, because one of the other problems, for instance, someone at Laverne, I think it was, asked me about the bells, right? So first of all, COVID, it took 2, 3, 4 weeks for me to get the bells. When I finally got the bells, now I'm having to order the decals to go on them. I've asked the company that I've ordered decals from before. Can't get my decals. Then the company had to shut down because of COVID. So now that the company is back up and trying to run again, I'm asking for these decals again. I don't have them, but it's okay at the moment because I'm down anyway. So that's giving them time to get their sales together and whatever they may need to do. But come time for me to sit back up and get these bells out, I need my decals. So actually, I'm glad y'all are reminding me. I'm going to reach out tomorrow and see if I can't get those decals ordered. Because paid for them actually and still haven't done. But yes, there's a lot going on. Diane Wilson, how did I get started? I got started when and good night, Miss Sylvia. Yeah, Cheryl, that's a definite thank you. That peace of mind and wishing that yes, you can handle it. It's just gonna take a moment. And focus. Just one order at a time, one part at a time, and you can do it. I got started with friends, close family friends were, actually let me back up before we get to that. It was a Black Friday sale. Walmart had a Black Friday sale on the 4x4 embroidery machine, little pink one, P500, one year, about 4 or 5 years ago, 5 years ago now, I want to say. And I decided to buy this embroidery machine because it was on Black Friday. And I wanted something cool, and I was like, I like to sew, let's try embroidery, so I bought it. Took the machine out the box. Long story short, the box sat for a year. I touched it once in that 12 months and didn't know anything about stabilizer, was too impatient to read the book. I wanted to be able to use this right out of the box and couldn't, so it made me mad. I put it back in the box for another 6 months before I actually gave it a fair shake. So forward that 12 months, at the end of that 12 months, what made me get that machine out of the box was close family friends were having a baby, and I was just, really excited for them and wanted to give them a custom gift for the baby. And it was they had boys, like 3 boys, and this was the first girl. So I was like, ooh, girly stuff, oh, type thing. So I dug out that embroidery machine, and that's how I got started, because I wanted to make the little baby gifts for the friends, um, for those friends of our family. And then after I did that one, then another family got pregnant, then another baby shower rather, and then another family baby shower. Well, by this time, folks was finding out that I was doing embroidery, and folks were finding out I was doing baby gifts, and that's how I got into doing the baby's booty, because at the time it was like the treasure trove of baby items that I was giving at the not bridal shower, baby showers, and folks was absolutely loving those custom gifts. So that's how I got started. Well, when I tried to learn more about the embroidery machine and how to do the embroidery and do things other than what was in the embroidery machine, all of that stuff, it was okay. Well, nobody had clear instructions on how to do embroidery with that little 4x4 machine, and it was frustrating to me, because the people who did know how to use the embroidery machine, their embroidery instructions were for a high price, and I only paid $275 for this little embroidery machine to have to pay $1,000 for classes. I mean, come on, bro, that math doesn't add up. And then I learned, did more research, and found there were embroidery editing programs out there. There were thousands of dollars, and I'm like, come on, man, there has to be something out there. So as I start doing research in different areas all across the board and putting my own little packet of information together, that's when I was like, okay, other people need to know how to do this. And that's where this channel got started, in trying to teach people how to best utilize that embroidery machine on the small home level. So that's how I got started, actually. My first machine was the Brother PE 500, the 4x4 Brother PE 500, little pink embroidery machine from Walmart. Black Friday sale. Like I said, it was about five years ago. They had that Black Friday, and ain't put an embroidery machine on clearance on Black Friday again since. Made me so sad. They always do sewing machines, but not embroidery machines. I wish they would. So that's how I got started. And Scooby Doo and Colette, y'all a trip, acting up in the background. I'm trying to get all the behind the scenes administrative stuff finished by Thursday. I rearranged my schedule and my time so I can be a better businesswoman, because I love y'all. Cheryl, I'm trying to tell y'all, we're sisters from another mister, because I'm dealing with the exact same thing, which is why I reached out for help, because the business was like, this year just like blew up, and I couldn't keep up with it, and technically in a way still can't keep up with it. So I had to have help. I had to, because I'm one person with chronic illness. So it just feels like some days you're in an avalanche and just can't dig your way out, because you don't know which way is up or which way is down. So you sometimes have to get outside help if you can at all afford it. If you can't, then again, same principle applies with back orders. Sit back, one process at a time, and try and sort through it all as best as you can. But don't get too overwhelmed, because that can, cause problems later on in the future. Well, you guys, it is need to see you some NutriBurst. I don't know if I want NutriBurst tonight. You guys, thank you for joining me this evening. It is 11 o'clock. It's rather late. We've been here right at a couple of hours. And I always enjoy hanging out with you all here live. And I'm sorry I don't have my bell. Sorry I don't have, studio information and things to show you. But I do have some information up here in this rusty old brain. We trying to get the information out to you guys. And thank you for your questions and your attentiveness and just joining us this evening. I always appreciate you taking the time out of your busy schedule to be with us here on The Baby's Booty. If you're interested in becoming a YouTube Hoop Group member, the link should be in the description below, or you can just type in The Baby's Booty YouTube.com, The Baby's Booty Charlotte / join. Oh my gosh, can I not get it right? You can join us, or when you click the subscription, hopefully the blue join button is right there beside it, and we definitely appreciate any and all support that you give to this channel. Also, we do have a Facebook group, so reach out to us on Facebook, the Hoop Group. You should see me sitting there holding Sir McQuackins, and you can join us on Facebook and post images of the things that you've been working on, as well as any questions you may have. For the most part, we try and get to them as soon as possible. We also have our free hoop group, which Facebook is free, but we also have our other hoop group on our website, thebabysbooty.com, that is available as well. So again, we hope you guys have enjoyed our live this evening, and we look forward to seeing you all next Sunday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, depending upon what I got going on. But we look forward to seeing you each and every time you take the moment to join us. So I look forward to seeing you on our next visit. And until the next time I see you, we hope you have happy embroidering. Thank you again for taking time out to be with us this evening. Good night. Bye.